People have been asking me, what do I think we're going to get in the Direct on Thursday? And frankly, that's what I'm thinking we're going to get. First off, happy Halloween, everybody. Or should I say Smashmas Eve. We have a Direct happening on Thursday. For me, it's at 10 a.m. It's supposedly the final Smash Direct, so that's really exciting. I'm going to be streaming it on this channel, so if you guys want to catch it with me, I'll stream it live. There's a good chance we may be getting certain characters announced that would make me very happy, so if you want to see that reaction, feel free to jump into the stream. I will say I'm not super well set up to stream. I did get a new webcam since the last time I streamed the Direct that had Isabel, so it might be a little better quality, but I completely understand if you want to go watch it somewhere that has very good quality, and I will also be filming it with my good camera at the same time. I'll be filming my reaction at the same time as I'm streaming it, and I will, after the Direct's over, upload a reaction video using the better quality footage. So if you just want to see my reaction to any certain characters, you could watch it a little later. You don't have to watch it in the stream if that's the way you prefer it. So I scripted my last video. That was just so I could be very clear about what I was saying and to stay on point so I didn't say too much about something. I also want to be clear that that was a theory video. That was just a theory based on a bunch of things that I'd heard from different people and, kind of checking the credibility of where these things were coming from and stuff. So there is, some thought behind it, but it is just a theory video. I don't know for sure anything about, a meeting with Sakurai and getting Banjo at E3. I don't know that. Just a theory. I also demonetized that video. Some people were like, oh, you didn't have to do that. And I just wanted to be as sincere as possible that I was just trying to get that information out there, that possibility of what was going on out there. And I wanted to be sincere about it. I didn't want to make it look like I was doing it just to come up with some wild theory that would get views or something. So that's why I did that one. But yeah, that was just a one-time thing. So not to overhype or anything, but if you want to know where I'm at with, what I think we're going to get here, like I said, I'm thinking the Grinch Leak is real. That's where I am. Draw your own conclusions, make your own assessment. I don't, want to sway anybody too hard in one direction or anything and disappoint someone, but I also want to be genuine with my own thoughts, and I do believe the Grinch Leak is basically unfakeable. I'll put an article in the description of this video that is really good about explaining what you'd have to do to fake the Grinch Leak, and yeah, I just think it's unfakeable. So with that being said, if it's the Grinch Leak versus, what's been floating around from insiders and stuff, what people have heard or maybe seen, I have to go with the printed material. I feel like if the Grinch Leak can't be faked, then it's finalized printed material, and that's what I'm going with. So I talked to my source again a little bit, and we're basically just waiting out the Direct at this point. Occam's razor, if you know the phrase, pretty much just points to the Grinch Leak being the most likely answer of what we're going to get. So yeah, we're just waiting it out to see if that's what happens. I will say again, I do trust my source. I think even if it turned out that the Grinch Leak wasn't real, I do think they are actually feeding me real information. Again, I have a source and they have a source, so there's a bit of a chain here of info being moved between different people, but I don't think my source is like lying to me or something. Based on who they are, I think they're very credible and I think they're very trustable. And I also will say this, if I had just taken everything at face value that they told me, they were telling me that their source was saying that they had heard the banner characters, that they had apparently seen proof of Banjo, and that they had also heard Incineroar. Now, I haven't seen proof of anybody, so again, it's a chain of information. I'm just trusting my source who's trusting their source, and if you want to trust me, that's your conclusion, whatever you want to do here. But if I had taken that information at face value, I maybe could have been telling everyone, well, I don't think the Grinch Leak's real because my source's source said that Incineroar is supposed to be on there. But, I'm not taking it at face value. I'm looking at all the evidence in favor of the Grinch Leak, and it's very strong. I think it's really hard for this one to be faked, and basically impossible for it to be faked. And anything that people have said trying to debunk it has been kind of just scrutinizing little things about it, but nothing very strong at all. And I think the only way to disprove it is for ACP PLV to come out and say they're not working on Smash. And they haven't done that. That's pretty much the only thing that's going to sway me is, something like that. Because the evidence isn't exactly the banner itself, though there's a lot of cool stuff in there that points towards it. All the interesting things going on with the characters. Isaac using vines or something and having a Dijin with them. And we got, the chorus kids with the conductor. And people pointed out this cool thing where Banjo is flying by Snake and it looks like Snake's trying to shoot him and Kazooie notices it. All the Mii's being put together, which feels like a finalized banner. Seeing parts of characters that we haven't seen before. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in the image, but the image aside, the real evidence is everything else surrounding how we got the leak, where it's coming from, and all that stuff. And that can really only be disproven if ACP PLV comes out and says they're not working on it. And they haven't done that again. So they've actually taken down a video. There was like a French bank that had a video of their like factory, and it kind of, again, pointed a little bit towards the leak being real. And that video was taken down. It was taken down on a Sunday, and banks usually aren't open on Sundays. I don't know if that's the case in France, but I'd imagine it is. So, you know, that's pretty huge that they got them to do that, and to go other way to do that, and then also not come out and say they're not working on the game. I have to go Occam's razor here. I'm just thinking the Grinch leak has the most evidence, whereas the other side of the table is, you know, stuff people have maybe heard, maybe seen, and we're not even getting the full picture of them telling us what they've heard, what they've seen, just saying things about characters, or that person's not in there, or it's missing someone, or something like that. But that might be outdated. There's just easier explanations to explain away what people may have heard or even seen than there is to try to get rid of the Grinch leak. So Vergibin's come out and said a bit more, and I will say, you know, the guy's been really good this whole Smash speculation season. He's tried to get information out there. He's been generally right about everything. So, you know, it is important to look at what he says. However, I do think, you know, it might be outdated and stuff. Like I'm saying, I think the Grinch leak is a stronger case than anything else I've heard. Now, that said, I don't think people should come down on Vergibin. Again, he's been trying to help us out. But so the new thing he said is that Isaac is an assist trophy. He said Emily Rogers said Isaac is an assist trophy. So I don't know if they've both seen that, both heard that, both anything. If he's just going off of what he heard from Emily Rogers, I do not know. But they're saying that that's part of the reason why the Grinch leak is wrong, is because Isaac should be an assist trophy. There's some ways to explain away that. It's possible, for one, it was just false information that's spreading around without knowing if they've actually seen it or not. Could be false info. I also think telling people that something is an assist trophy is a great way for Nintendo to like hide who's in and who's out, because if you just see an image of the character, they might just be an assist trophy. And if that's what you've heard, you know, there you go. You're going to go with that, with an image. There's also Rathalos in this game, and Rathalos is a assist trophy who is also a boss character. Sakurai said that. So could Isaac be the first assist trophy and playable character? Maybe when you select Isaac, that assist trophy doesn't show up anymore? Sakurai breaks his rules all the time. That's totally possible. I actually think the most likely thing, if Isaac is an assist trophy, is that he is his older incarnation, basically the one from Dark Dawn, and that the playable Isaac is the one from the Banner leak, which is younger Isaac. It's possible he's both. That's a very Sakurai thing to do. We have Samus and Zero Suit Samus, you know, as both playable characters, so it's totally possible that Isaac is both a playable character and an assist trophy. He's the first one that works like that. Completely possible thing that could happen. And it's the fact that like people who have heard something or seen something aren't kind of going the extra step to think about, okay, well, the Grinch leak has so much evidence towards it, so what I've heard doesn't match with it, but why doesn't it match with it? Instead, they're just dismissing it, and that's, I don't know, I just don't think that's the right way to take this. So just to be a little more descriptive of my Banjo theory, the reason like Incineroar's not in the game is because he's been deprioritized down to DLC because we got the rights to Banjo at E3. So just to be clear, it's also possible Sakurai like had an over-the-phone deal with Microsoft already, was working on Banjo conceptually or even, you know, physically, but got the finalized rights at E3 and then rushed back to change the project plan to add him into the base game when Sakurai was absolutely sure they could like potentially maybe renew the copyright in time. Maybe that's what the finalized deal had to be at E3. And when he had that, knowing that, you know, the copyright could be renewed quick enough, which it was renewed at September 9th, getting that information made Sakurai know, okay, I can finally get that character done and get them in the base roster, so he rushed back to get that all sorted out. That's totally possible too. I'm not necessarily saying they started work on Banjo right at E3. So just, you know, there's some wiggle room here. I'm basically just, again, theorizing. So when you theorize about stuff, you don't know for sure, so that opens up the possibility of, you know, slight differences with, it doesn't have to be so cut and dry, basically. It doesn't have to be Sakurai got Banjo at E3 and that's it. You know, he had to build them from there. Once again, I don't want to overhype, but draw your own conclusions and we'll see what we get. I am not ashamed if I'm wrong about this. If the Grinch leak doesn't turn out to be true, I'm really not ashamed. It is a very, very good leak. It is so good, I almost feel like if it turned out to be fake, it's again like a Gametsu leak situation where we'll find out later it was like, something else was up about it because it's just too good of a fake, and it was like somebody on the inside faking it, like someone at the printing place faking it. I think that's extremely unlikely, but I think that's like the only way it could be faked. So again, I'm not ashamed if I'm wrong about it. And also, draw your own conclusions. I don't want to overhype all that stuff, but I need to be genuine with you guys and tell you how I feel, and that is how I feel. I think the Grinch leak is probably what we're going to get tomorrow. Now, regardless of whether or not the leak is real or fake, there's still a very good possibility that we will be getting Geno or Banjo or someone in the Direct, and if that happens, I will be walking out of there very, very happy. So, again, regardless if the Grinch leak turns out to be real, getting either of those characters is going to make me extremely happy. So, yeah, I'm excited for this Direct. This is a very, very exciting time. So as far as predictions go, I do think we'll probably hear a lot about that blurred out mode, the mode that most people think is called Spirits, and I'm on board with that. I think it's called Spirits 2. I had that little piece of information about how Spirits act like stickers. They're like some collectible and might replace trophies or be part of trophies or something. Anyway, they act like stickers, and I assume that means powering up your fighter. I'm kind of thinking Spirits mode is probably some sort of one-player adventure mode or a boss rush mode or something. I don't know that for sure, but that's just my guess. The piece about Spirits acting like stickers in some way and being a collectible, that was supposedly leaked to me. There's a little bit of something interesting that's going on with that. I don't want to confuse people too much, and I mean, we have the Direct tomorrow anyway. This isn't any information about the game, so don't fret that I'm not telling you any information I have, but there's just something kind of interesting about that, and I'm sure I'll throw it in the video after the Direct, just explaining what that was, but there's something kind of interesting that relates back to Spirits being like stickers, and it could be cool to hear about after the Direct, so I'll save that till afterwards, but just I want to preface it here so that when I bring it up later, it's not like I'm pulling it out of nowhere. So this Direct is 40 minutes long. That's longer than the August 8th Direct, which I think was around 27, 28 minutes. So, with the Grinch leak having 7 characters, having a lot of the game already kind of talked about and explored, I do think that this could be a pretty character reveal heavy Direct. That just makes sense to me given that time frame. They're saying this is the final Smash Direct, so I'm believing that we'll get everything by the end of this. It's possible there's maybe a final secret DLC announcement or something that they'll do towards the end of November or right before the game comes out. Possible, but I think we're going to know pretty much everything by the end of this one. So once again, hype responsibly, come to your own conclusion based on everything you've heard from everybody. I don't want to sway anybody too hard in one direction, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Grinch leak is real, and I want to be genuine with you guys. I want to tell you what I believe, and that's it. That's what I'm expecting tomorrow. If we don't get it, I could still walk out of that Direct extremely happy. I do think we're going to get probably some awesome information about Smash. I'm already loving this game, even if we got no more characters. I think this game is amazing. I thought it was amazing at E3. I thought it was amazing after the August 8th Direct. I'm still thinking this game's awesome and very excited for it. So we'll see what other stuff we get, and yeah, I'm just really hyped, and I can't wait. So just to end the video, I'm going to do some shout-outs here. My buddy Prince Buffoon made the opening animation of this one, and I thought it was hilarious, so huge props to him. You can check him out in the description of this video, and the description of all my videos, because he made the intro to my my channel here. And then I also have some new art here that I'm going to add to the outro of this video, and that's by Leaf Penguins. You can check him out over at his DeviantArt page, and I'll also link to in the description of this video. So once again, thank you guys for all the subscribes, all the likes. It really helps out the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so, or like the video, or leave a comment, whatever you want. Until next time, have a good one.